Hey, welcome everyone. Scotch on the Bayou. Happy Tuesday. Good to see everyone. Good to be back in the space and say hello. Hope everyone is having a good week. I've missed you all. It's been a crazy summer. You have no idea how crazy it is, but we are going to finally talk about this epic adventure that was to be had at Deanston back in March. And very excited for my guest tonight, who's going to be joining us to talk about this. And I know I have some big Deanston fans in the chat. Ness is in. Hello, love his Deanston. Love it. Joe's in until 27 days until he's going to this Warehouse 4 tour. I am so excited for you, Joe. You're going to have a fit. And if only my guest were there to help in that endeavor, and you'll understand what I mean in a little bit. Deanston, what's that? I think this guy knows more about Deanston than most any of us. Drew from Scotch for Dummies and his cohort. Well. Yes, that would be Mark Broda. My Mark is in, tending to things, and I know my buddy down to Bayou. Hey, Trooper. He loves some Deanston as well. And cool that one of our friends that was on the same adventure, Chuck Maltbinion. Hey friend, I'm so glad you came. And they're in tonight because we're going to be talking about you and all of us and the wonderful time that we had at Deanston. And really, as I said in the description, the serendipity of how all that happened is really pretty cool. Kathy is in. Hey Kathy, good to see you too. Glad you're in with us tonight. So yeah, we're gonna have a good time talking about that and have some unbelievably wonderful drams. So before we get into any of that, I want to welcome my guest. Be sure that you are following him. I'm going to put that in the chat, and that would be Mr. Rick Johnson of the Whiskey Zone. Hello, my friend. How are you doing tonight?
I am good, Leanne. It's so good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I don't know if my link actually worked. I don't think it did. So we're going to have to redo that. That looks very odd. That doesn't look like what I was supposed to copy and paste. But we will get there. And you are at the Whiskey Zone, on Instagram and all of that fun stuff. Great. Kathy said she's already subscribed to your channel today. So woot. You will love this guy. I love what you're doing with your channel, and I want to talk some more about it. But the guy you'll hear his voice is straight out of like old time radio, and he is the most succinct and to the point. You get what you need to know about a whiskey in the 5 minutes, right? That you normally give folks on your reviews. I absolutely love it.
I'm going to hire you to do PR for me.
I'm sure anytime. I love it. It's you just do a really good job. And I got to know you more in March. And so I really wanted us to do this together. So thanks for your patience. We were supposed to do this a couple of times and my schedule was just crazy.
Right.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So when we all went, ended up going to the Independent Spirits Festival in March over in Leith, and all of this came about. Was that your first trip to Deanston?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you and your wife Catherine, who is absolutely lovely, and I must say you married up a little bit there, friend.
Oh, I sure did.
I contacted our mutual friend and Monday Whisky Adventure extraordinaire, Peter Lee, and his lovely wife Denise. For those in the Barfly arena, you all know who Peter and Denise are. And Mondays are their days to go whiskey adventuring.
Mm-hmm.
I unabashedly, unapologetically invited myself along on your trip. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and it's funny because as you know, he has this like really intense love for Springbank, and
Yes.
so when we were trying to set up the Whiskey Monday, he was trying to get a trip to Springbank in there, but it schedule wise it didn't work out because it was going to be a couple of days, and so I kind of suggested Deanston as an alternative, and he said, "Oh, absolutely, we can do Deanston," because he loves that one too, and yeah, it was an amazing journey with all the people that were there, and it was
Yeah. That's great. That's great. So it was a lot of fun. So I'm starting off with one of their, I guess you would say this is their entry level of the Virgin Oak. And
uh,
folks,
I'll join you with that.
look at that.
Look
Great
at
minds, y'all. Think alike.
that.
Um, but yeah, I mean, because I remember when I first got into whiskey and those guys up in Indiana, two of which are on tonight, were with Deanston this and Deanston that, and I thought I was like, well, the Virgin Oak. I mean, it's the low end of the price point. I mean, it's probably not going to be that great. And I was like, holy smoke, this is a good so good that it's on my hey, you want to try Scotch? Try this list.
Oh,
Mm,
I can see that. Yeah, it's a lovely dram.
it really it is. You get a lot of like cotton candy sweetness on the very front end. And then it kind of goes into a meatier, waxier. You get a little bit of that wax off of Deanston. Very interesting. Yes, can't beat the Virgin Oak. Molasses is in. Hello, good to see you. And Jimmy Jazz. Hey, my friend. Great to see you guys. And Peter is in. Hey, Peter. Donner Pass. Great. Thanks a bunch, friend. I know you've got work right now. This is perfect. See ya. See you in the next time. Mm, mm, mm.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
we all met in Glasgow at the Good Spirits, and then it was a day of meeting new people, making new friends. And Daisy was there, and that was the first time I'd ever met her. And again, I was just like, okay, we all pile up. So there was five of us.
yeah.
Yeah, there were five of us in the Lee's van and make our way up to doing for the we were doing the whiskey, the entry tour, and then also the warehouse
The
tasting. So the
warehouse thing.
warehouse
Yeah.
tasting didn't come with the tour, right?
No, that
So,
was two separate things. Yeah.
right. And just so anyone's thinking about what do you call double dipping and doing two things at one time, you get to partake of one or the other, because you can't have all the double drams, and they don't want to overserve people, and you can understand that. So I think what I ended up doing was just getting the normal tour. I just got all my drams as driver drams, but I wanted to taste right there what was coming out of those casks, and we'll get there in just a bit. Um, and this guy, oh, Drew, thanks so much, my friend, with the super chat. Deanston for $20. There's a significance. Thank you very much, because he and I killed a bottle of Deanston 20 at the Bastards Ball about 4 years ago, I think. That's awesome. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. And I see what my friend Michael Dodd's in too. Awesome. Down in New Orleans. Great to see you there. Um, so yeah, so we go to that. And I wanted to kind of share um a couple of quick pics of that. This picture is of you pouring, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I just loved the whole frame of that, and just the kinetic energy of that liquid coming out of that copper dog and filling my glass so nicely. But yeah, Deanston is such a beautiful place. And though not really old, it's not an ancient distillery, right? it's for those who may not know, it's an old cotton plant that was reworked into a distillery. And you see the multi levels. Well, that's multi level casks too, um, where they made cotton and made clothing and things like that. It's sitting on a river, and they generate their own power. That feat of engineering was amazing, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah. The first hydroelectric self-sufficient distillery in Scotland.
I mean, so much so that they actually power the rest of the general area,
Mm-hmm.
because they have that much leftover electricity. It's very cool.
Yeah, and just being next to the River Teith that's right
Yes,
next to it. It's so beautiful.
just
It's just
gorgeous. Just
yeah.
waiting for Brad Pitt to be out there like fly fishing and waiters. Hey, I know that may not be the. I'm just saying, kind of a girl can dream, right? So I'm drinking really good scotch and looking at a beautiful river that's going over these rocks, and yeah, it was gorgeous. Mm. But when we get there, just of all those levels of the building, and you see all of these casks, and we were there at a Deanston cask, for a Deanston tasting, but you start seeing other distillery casks around, and I don't know if you got as excited about some of those as I did.
They were amazing collection. Yeah.
So you look over here, and you're gonna see a Bunnahabhain, big, like a big butt with a Bunnahabhain on it. Over there maybe a Lecheg or a Tobamori, because they actually swap out casks and move casks around to different locations. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And it was it was a beautiful, because it was such an old building, for a warehouse. It had that feel of like old Scottish tradition. It was lovely.
Yeah. And interesting in how they repurposed the building too. There was a lot of ecological and you know really being able to use the resources as they were and not try to do too much to um make too. I mean, it's not to get all global warming or anything like that, but they're looking at the way that they're able to use the resources they have and make the least impression on the or detriment to the world, right?
Yeah.
So the water that they use is absolutely always clean, and that goes in. It's probably cleaner as it exits the hydroelectric than when it came in. And then when you look at this building and the way that they took it over, they didn't just go in and completely rework everything. It pretty much looks like it did back probably in the
Oh yeah.
1800s.
And you can see that from those photos that you have up.
Yeah.
The old windows, the ceiling. It's like
Yeah. There was a lot. Yeah, can y'all imagine how good that room smelled? I can smell it. I can think about it and just smell it right now. And Chuck, you need to chime in here and remind me, because I thought I took some notes on some things, but I really didn't. And I want to say, I'm trying to remember our tour guide's name, but he was absolutely delightful. And
I forgot to write that down too.
He was a hoot, and he was so very generous, and I'll tell you why in a bit. But these are a couple of the casks that we started it out with. One that was a 2006. I'm pretty sure one of them was a Red Barrique cask, and then we had a sherry cask, and I want to say a bourbon. The one that you poured, I was pretty sure was the sherry. One other thing I wanted to see. So you can see there's here's an Oloroso cask right here. Just unbelievable room. Very cool. And this was our motley crew. So when we get there, so there's you and Catherine, Peter and Denise. Chuck is in the middle. Malt Minion, guys. There he is. He can't remember the name either. But he's a lovely man. I'm going to catch hell for that. I know. Daisy, my new friend, and I down in the bottom, and then the Youngs. So we had U.S., Netherlands, Scotland, and Canada represented. Now, here's the funniest thing. I know Chuck so very well. Chuck is a huge supporter of Scotch for Dummies. And it was a hoot because I'm thinking everybody else knows Chuck. Everybody else knows Malt Minion. But nobody else did. And everybody else thought that he was just on the tour there for a little while. And I was like, oh, Chuck, what do you think about this? And they're like, you're being so nice. And I'm like, but no, that's Chuck. I mean, you don't know Chuck. And it's like, so it was great that everybody else had got a new friend named Chuck after all this was over. But I love this picture of him particularly because he was just looking around, and when the light was hitting just right, it was just like, you're sitting in a warehouse of absolute heaven. And that really looked like it on his face. And you can tell Daisy and I are quite happy with our drams.
I did want to say one thing. I just saw the thing from Jimmy Jazz.
Yeah.
Yes, Jim, the Little Mill cask is still there.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And no, I don't know who owns it either.
We saw that for sure.
Mm.
Oh, Tom's in. Goodness, we got all kinds of folks in. Good to see you. Ian Assault, who is in. Ian Bruce is in. Hey, friends, good seeing you. Missed y'all all. Yeah, so we were wrapped with our guide walking us through the drams, and he poured. I think we all have the first, probably this first one that was a bourbon matured whiskey. Especially looking at everybody's glasses, that's what it looks like to me. And then, well, let's wait for that for a second. I'm almost finished with my, virgin oak here, because I want to go in to pour one of these bottles. I came home with 2 bottles and the little sample our guide gave us, as well as you. And you and I both came home with that one particular big bottle, right?
Yep.
And this one, Drew Bills. This is the one that doesn't replace 20, but it has the funk that 20 did. I felt when I had it. Now I'm opening it for the first time. Some of this will fly its way to Indiana, my friend. I will make sure of it. Hey, Richie's in. Good to see you.
All right, so we're opening now?
I'm opening. I've opened.
All right.
I've opened.
All right.
Look at that color. Look at the color. Don't look at the price. I don't know if my buddy Kevin is in, but Kevin, this next one is our sheer bottle. So, Deanston's one reputation that isn't good is their corks. So I'm happy that this one, here we go. That sounded good. Very good. I heard it. Oh, me. I'm gonna use a clean glass for this. No, I'm gonna use this glass. So let's see if we can hear it.
Yeah. And I am using the official Deanston glass.
Take that first nose.
Oh my gosh.
All I want to say is keep bounce out.
Oh, that's so nice.
I'm telling you, Drew, this is so funky. I mean, you would think in a blind, tell me honest, Rick, in a blind, would your first kind of thing, like, would the first note say Campbelltown to you? On that first
it would. Yeah. Yep.
It's dissipating right now a little bit. And Chuck is pouring the same thing. So this is a 22-year-old 2001 hand-filled organic pheno cask. Cask strength. It was cask number 59. It is coming in at a 53.8 ABV. And so that'll kind of give you an idea. And then
and we are in September. It's still the most expensive bottle I bought this year.
well, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. Because the other bottle I had to buy the wee bit because I couldn't do that on
Yeah.
my own. And the beauty is when you are there, they will let you taste this. So you're not in there blind going and just tasting, buying a bottle blind and going, oh, I bet that's really good. This one was hand filled on the 24th of November. No, wait, sorry. I had to redo on the 25th of November last year. Just so walk me through what you got on the nose.
I get spices. I get marinated plums. I get like rich sweetness.
Well, I'm just looking at like rolling this whiskey on the glass, and it's almost like a ketchup commercial of anticipation. There's no way I can make that look good on camera, but it is working. It looks very oily on the glass.
Yeah. I already snuck a taste.
Chuck says he gets a hint of butterscotch, like on the nose. I can get a little bit of that. Almost so spice I'm getting
Nice spice.
on the nose is kind of like that Christmas cake, but not too nutmeggy.
No, it's the raisins that have been soaking in rum.
But I do like get that caramelized butterscotch kind of note. Oh my heavens, the taste on this.
Oh, yeah, the taste, you really get the caramel. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to everyone watching it. This isn't like smell-o-vision and
This is like I'm gonna try to do this to where and get. I want y'all to see like the legs on this sucker, if you can do that. Okay, there you can kind of see. All right, see there on the very top. It's just taking its sweet time to come down. Oh man. And there's a viscosity to it for sure on the palate.
chewy. Yeah. Not back. I'm just getting just plain butter on the nose.
Like a brown butter.
Mm.
Like it's got a little sugar, but it's been browned. There's a little bit of heat, as you would imagine, coming from 53.8. The spice is more warming than like not really a pepper, not really a cinnamon, just kind of like a sweet ginger.
And this is a great example of a lot of times when you see, all right, so why did it end up being a 22-year-old and not a 21 or a 23 or a 24? It's like they pulled it at just the right time. 22 was perfect for this, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. You get a little bit of that pancake syrup is coming out right now.
Yeah.
Trooper says, just mail the empty bottle so I can get a whiff. Oh, boo, we got to get you some of this. Chuck. Chuck doesn't say a lot, but when he does, He's right on it. Good job there, buddy. It is. Hmm. So on the warehouse tour, you saw us all gathered around there. It's very cozy. It was chilly, which is what you want. You don't want a hot. You don't want a Danish house in South Louisiana. um, but we're all cozy. I think we had a couple of us had blankets, and it was all just warm and cozy. And you get in there and you start with the drams, and the guy's walking us through. I mean, he was there for like, I mean, he was there for a long time. It was like his second gig kind of thing, because he's part of the community and he wanted to be part of you know, um, the whole idea of promoting Deanston in the community. And so he's walking us through a couple of drams. So we get to the last dram. And for anybody who saw the reel today that I posted, this is this is so awesome. I'm just saying that if you ever find your way to the Deanston Warehouse tour, or if you ever find your way around this gentleman right here, you want to go to a warehouse tour and you want him to be the one to pull the copper dog. Because here is Rick. If you would look and see the grin on his face, as if Santa Claus handed him the keys to the kingdom. What was that like, Rick, when you were getting up there and you were going to be able to pull whiskey out of that cask?
Well, it was I knew the challenge was going to be that there wasn't a lot of whiskey in that particular cask. So I knew I'd have to go down near the bottom and do it a couple times to fill up the dog. And but yeah, it's like, when you're given the opportunity to pour whiskey and you're pouring it for friends, you don't want to be, chintzy about it. You want to share the wealth. It was such good whiskey. Oh my God.
What I love about this is that you poured probably 2 to 3 times the volume that that the guide would have poured out of this barely any left whiskey in the cask. And on the reel, if you haven't on Instagram, listen or Facebook, listen to it, because Peter Lee goes, "I love your pour, Rick." It is hilarious. You want Rick to pour for you.
Well, and my back was to our guide, so I don't know what the look on his face was, but I'm sure he was like, what is he doing?
Right. I mean, that pour was epic. It was a 4-finger pour. I mean, I think Peter's went up to warehouse number 4 on the line. I think it really did.
Yeah.
I think when you got to Daisy, she had so much Gradu charcoal in hers that she was like, that was coming off the bottom of that barrel. She cracked up, and it was so funny. It was like, oh, that's the good bits. She wasn't complaining, no, any of us. But at that point, you still had to pour. You had to go back. I think you went back to it 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
Because then you had to pour Chuck's and then the Grams, all of them, and you couldn't just, do a little for them, and they had to have as much as everybody else.
I had to equal it out. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. That was so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, because the other thing that I noticed was a lot of times you do a warehouse tasting, and you get a little taste, and everybody kind of kills the dram there, but like everybody did takeaway bottles.
Yeah. And we didn't rush it. I was just like, yeah, we're gonna sit here for a bit.
Yeah.
We're gonna sit here a bit. And it would have been lovely to just go to the warehouse tour. And I've done it before. And I did so with Graham Fraser. Mm-hmm. We had completely different drams. And it was so very special because it was with Graham.
Yeah.
And I think we were the only ones there for that. So we really got to take our time. And, Graham is not bashful about asking about anything or for anything, which is also very handy. But it was a completely different from that, even because of everybody else that was there with us. you know, and then, Chuck didn't know any of us were coming. I don't think, did you, Chuck? And so he shows up, or I think you and I may have talked about it at the festival, Chuck, but certainly didn't know that you were going to be walking in and get to know all these other people like we did. And
yeah, it was a pleasure
that's
meeting
what it
Chuck.
makes it special, right?
Yeah.
Because it's shared, because we're all having that moment, and that moment is going to be bookmarked for a couple of, that whole trip will be bookmarked for me for a couple of reasons. Finally getting to meet Chuck, having you pour what you poured, and just, it was priceless. It was so priceless, and you're thinking, oh boy. And you looked at that. I mean, we looked at the guy later and said, y'all didn't make a dime off of us today. Y'all lost money on this one today.
Yeah, it'd be fun to know if the next warehouse tasting he did, if he let somebody from the group actually do the pours.
He probably didn't. But he was very happy with us.
Yeah.
He was very, and the folks are very gracious. And I forgot to grab it. Hang on one sec. So what I love is we all go back after the tour. We go and grab a bite to eat in their cafe. Their cafe is so cool. And it's good to be able to eat something while you're doing all this. The tour itself, during this warehouse tasting, you don't do the tour. So we were all waiting to do the tour again, right? So this young lady walks up and she says, while we're there having lunch, and she goes, Lee, and Peter Lee goes, yeah. And I'm like, and I go, yeah. It's like, which Lee you want? And she goes, the lady, and Denise goes, yeah. It was great. And she goes, no, your whiskey club. And I thought, what? And she goes, your whiskey club, that you came with your whiskey club. And I said, oh yeah. And she thought we were all a whiskey club and that we all knew each other and we're all like buddies from day one. And I'm like, someone was just met for the first time, and it was great. And she had this pouch, and then what she did is she gave these. Let me get back over here. I am so rusty, y'all. I swear, all my buttons on where they are. So she gave me a bag that had all of these. Right? Am I backwards? I feel like I'm backwards. Anyway, 1992 PX 57.6. I'm going to have some of this.
All right.
They gave this sample to all of our group. They thought we were all in a whiskey group. And I'm like, yeah, we are. It's the Deanston Warehouse Whiskey Club. Okay. I rinsed out every bit of that Fino just so that I didn't lose any of it. And I'm going to pour a wee sip of that because this next bottle, I'm anxious to see.
That's very nice.
And so it's PX, but yeah, it's pretty light, huh?
Yeah.
But again, so after that, we're sitting there for a while. And then our buddy, who clearly learned he did not make any money on the tour he just gave us of the whiskey of the warehouse, gave us all bung holes. I just thought that was great. So good luck for Deanston. And that's really sweet. Nice. Yeah. Very nice touch, people. That's oh man. All right. Can we talk about funk on this?
Bananas.
Man. Oh, gee whiz. Let me go back to the comments. I'm seeing lots of chats. Chuck, let me know if you've had your little sample. Man, it's got a bit of a funky kind of thing on it. And something that we learned when we went on the tour then after was a characteristic this distillery, its whiskey shares with um, a certain Diageo distillery. Do you remember that? That there was an issue with a component in Johnny Walker, and so they had to go to Deanston to get.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I get so much waxiness on this.
Yep.
I do on Deanston, the viscosity, the oiliness, that waxiness. Yes, yes, ding, 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 dong. That Klein leash.
Yep.
There was a point, if y'all remember, it still had it. Klein leash cleaned out their receivers, and somebody thought that was a good idea. Clean out all the gunk and funk.
Yeah.
But the gunk and funk was what made Klein leash that waxy, build up, kind of stick to your teeth kind of spirit. And so it wasn't hitting where it needed to hit for as being a component of Johnny Walker. So they actually went to Deanston to get Deanston spirit in order to do it, because it had that much. They had
and
that
our
much
guide,
wax to it.
guide could not say whether or not that person lost their job, but we all bet yes.
You got reassigned to something else. Well, Chuck says that he does still have his. He hasn't poured it, but he opened it, took a sniff, and yes, there is a lot of funk on it.
Oh, try it, Chuck. Try it. Get it. Try
just
it
a wee bit. I just poured a little bit of mine. Oh man. Hey James, good to see you. I'm getting all kinds of crew in here tonight. John's in too. Woo! John recently finished a bottle of the 10PX at 57.5. Pure sherry heaven. You know, I had that red wine, that 2008 red wine, Deanston 2008 red wine. If I could have cloned that bottle, I would have. Oh, man, that is something. There you go. There's your answer, Rick.
Yeah, you're probably right, Mike.
He probably is, or cleaning out the stalls of the farm next door in Aurora. There's a little bit of spice on the nose on this too. Like I'm not kind of. Do you get a little citrus on the nose? I don't know. What am I getting?
No, it doesn't mean you're wrong.
See, Richie remembers that 2008 was so good. That red Bordeaux cask. Yeah. See, John knows too. I got 2 hallelujahs there. Thank you, boys. So for that being a PX, that I find this very bright, and I don't know how old it is. Just a 1992 PX is all that was marked on it.
Yeah. There's a sweetness, but it's kind of a muted sweetness.
Yeah.
I think the barley is making its way through.
Yeah, it's very clean though, right? It's very,
yeah.
It's a malty, which I mean, if somebody would say, what's a nice malty dram? Deanston 12 is my Highland malty dram. That's like my definition, my core definition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And oddly enough, here's my Deanston 12. It's an older bottle, right? Here's the front label. There isn't one. It was in a box. I never opened it, and I pulled it out, and it never had a front label. And Chuck has succumbed to peer pressure and is now in the glass. So good. I didn't smell anything. That's the clean glass. I'm so off. It is, John, right? I mean, it's just good. Just that's in my top beginner Highland multi malts.
I would
Yep.
agree with that. Yeah.
This is I'm leaving this glass till tomorrow of this little PX from 1992 because right now, I mean, I've finished it, and right now this glass is the bomb. I can
I still have
imagine
a
what.
little bit left.
Mm.
But I also still have some of the 22-year-old.
Well, that's a take your time. I
Yeah.
pour little drams. I think we had the conversation in Scotland, but and those who watch often know you want. I mean, I don't mind being adorable, but you don't want to get precious on YouTube. It's not a good look. Oh man, I'm getting that butterscotch on this too now. On the nose, now that it's gotten all the alcohol out of its glass. Whiskey is so much fun, especially when you have someone to share it with.
Oh yeah, and I mean the beautiful thing about these two Deanston pours is that they really are completely different.
Yeah.
But they're both amazing in their own way. It's like this distillery is not putting out crap. They
are not
good stuff.
They are not. Oh, see, Joe, you're amazing. Look at that. That's why. Oh, wait, one more up. Then we'll get to John. The PX is 31 years old. That's that. Yeah, that makes sense then because it's kind of got that musty, and the PX can only go for so long. So Chuck's saying on the top of the sweetness and the funk is straight up butter on it. Yep. Man, how generous of him, you know? I mean, there they did. They lost money because of the way you were pouring.
So,
and I make a joke about that. But
they gave this to us after the warehouse tasting?
Yeah. Yeah. When we were sitting there for lunch. You know, I mean, and then they came back because we were so delightful and they loved us so much, you know.
I'm sorry, we've already lost money. What the heck?
Give us some more free whiskey while you had it. What else you got up there? It's like Chappelle. What else you got up in there? You know. Oh man. But John understands my infatuation with an empty glass. You know, there's a magical next day, especially with some heavily peated whiskeys. You're not lying there, bud.
I agree with you, John.
Absolutely. So my buddy Kevin, y'all have seen Kevin with the unicorn bottles that we celebrate. I'm opening up this Kevin. This is a wee bottle because I could not pay for the big bottle and come home and not be in the doghouse for a very long time. Because that 22-year-old Pinot wasn't cheap, but this one wasn't either. I don't know what else did you come home with, Rick?
Well, the other one that I got, and I guess also because I had been scared off a little bit by the cost of that 22-year-old. I went with a little bottle of the 8-year-old Banyuls cask.
Ooh!
So I will open that one as well.
Okay.
I won't get the same pop that you will, though.
You can get a crack. There you go. So this bottle is a Manzanilla cask finish that Gregor Bain bottled for us. It was filled on December 1st. I have to remember how they date things. December 1st, 2023. It was distilled on April 9th, 1993. This is a 30-year-old Manzanilla cask, and it's 49 ABV. Look at that color. Yes, and that's the price. Look at that color. It's just amazing. Okay. So, yay, Richie Z just subbed to the Whiskey Zone.
Nice.
Okay. Can you hear the squeak? I do not want to spill a bit of this. There we go. Oh my gosh. I do love me some manzanilla.
Mm.
All right, let's. I'm just pouring a weed. This is going to get rationed between me and Kevin. I can't wait for him to be able to have some of this. I know, longest court pull ever. Look at that, y'all. Y'all. How tawny and orangey kind of look. I need a moment.
Take as much time as you'd like.
I mean.
So I will tell you, the Banyuls is kind of like, it's like liquid candy.
Ooh. So candy. Narrow down the kind of candy. Like the candy floss candy cotton candy kind of stuff, or
Okay, so
sweet tarts, or
there's a candy, and I don't know if this is universal or just a US thing, but there's a candy that you usually see comes out around Christmas time, and it's a ribbon kind of candy. That's
hard candy, the hard ribbon candy.
Yeah.
Hey, Whiskey Habit is in. Hello. Thanks for being in. So there's just like, look at the legs on this glass. Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Let me get in the frame. Holy moly.
Beautiful.
Oh. Trying to get out of the frame so it'll see it.
Back it up just a little bit.
All right. Let me try. There we go.
No, those SMWS bottles in the background are really in focus.
Yeah, sorry.
All right.
So this has a really this layer of mustiness on it. Musty malt. I haven't even had a sip yet.
I'm going to try an unfair comparison. Because it is two separate distillates. But I've got this Deanston Banyuls cask. And then I also just poured a little bit of Bunnahabhain Banyuls cask.
Very cool. That's a great comparable sister.
Yeah, we'll see what the cask does to each distillate.
So speaking of Bunnahabhain, I got one more slide for us I want to share. So we go on the tour looking at, this great for this old building. They have some really cool upgrades. And the way when we're in the washbacks, up above us is actually how the malt gets in the building over the conveyor up above us. Really, really interesting. This is our whole motley crew after the fact, when we made our purchases and about to pile into the car. And we take Chuck to Sterling, because at that point Peter didn't know that we knew that I knew him, and he was so gracious to take Chuck in, so Chuck didn't have to get the bus to get back. And then we see the woman herself, right? During the tour.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I was so fascinated. So the master blender, and she's literally got 5 men that are step in fetching it, the whole thing. She is
Yeah.
working her way through the casks. There's Deanston, there's Lacheg, there's Tobermory, there's Bunnahabhain cask, and she's pulling. There's one guy that holds the bottle. One guy has the sticker. You can see that. One guy takes the bottle after it's been poured, after she's poured it in from the Blanche, and goes and puts it to the other guy that's got the bin that's got all the samples. And it's like, when I grow up, can I be her?
Yeah. Yeah. You could tell it's like she was the person in charge. Absolutely.
She was. And I was just like, rock on, sister. I was so proud. That was so awesome. That was so awesome. Mm, mm, mm. So you have the same cask type finish, but yeah, and explain what that kind of cask is. Yes, it was Julianne Fernandez.
So Banyuls, I think, is a French wine, if I'm remembering correctly. And it is it's moderately sweet. But again, it's one of those wines that not a lot of people drink. So it's I won't say it's like, the sherrys and the PXs where distilleries are really looking for this and people aren't drinking it. People do drink Banyuls, but it's not a well-known type of vintage or vintner.
Type or Mark JG is in. Hey, my friend. Big hug. So this Manzanilla has a lot of that Manzanilla kind of slight funk taste to it. It's very bright, crazy bright for a 30-year-old whiskey. And I don't mean bright like hot. It's only 49 ABV, but it does have it's got some tooth to it. It's not just so mellow. Sometimes older casks are kind of, I don't want to say flat, but not necessarily robust on there. This is very vibrant for a 30-year-old for sure.
Do you think that was worth keeping in the barrel for 30 years? It's not picking up any of the like over wood taste?
It's dry on the end. It's drier on the end than any of the other ones were. So I think that's about the wood influence, but I'm not getting the sawdust lumberyard kind of, or that tannic, that really off-putting, egregious kind. Yeah. Yes, it is, Richie. So it's got a lot going on. As Manzanilla as a wine has a lot going on anyway. I would suspect that was a very wet cask at the point that sat in there for 30 years.
What's the ABV on that?
Just 49.
Ah, nice.
Which for a 30-year-old is pretty high proof.
Yeah.
Sometimes they try to really let's stretch this out all that we can at a 40 or a 42, maybe if they're feeling generous on something that's old. But at 49, that's pretty up there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Kevin, you're going to like this one. You're going to like this one.
So I will give my Deanston versus Bunnahabhain report. They're both right around the same. The Deanston is at 55 ABV, and the Bunnahabhain's around 54. So they got the same level.
Is the Bunna heavily? Is it got some peat to it, or is it typical Bunna? Yeah,
typical Bunna. They both have kind of the same level of spiciness.
Okay.
This is like minute little things. It's like I would not turn down either one of these. They're both amazing drams. I might give the nod to the Bunnahabhain. I'm sorry, Deanston people. I'm sorry.
Tell them the family.
Just because it has a little bit extra richness, I guess I would say.
Okay.
But the Deanston is lovely too. It's
Well, both of those distilleries put out really good core spirit.
Yeah, they do.
They
Yeah.
really, really do. I mean, I feel like their whole portfolio really does.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being able to, like, all of these drams, I could pick out that Deanston spirit, that underlying spirit, where so many distilleries, depending on what the cask is, it could be all over the place, and you don't really feel like that whole spirit. I consistently got the waxiness through all of these drams.
Yeah.
Some more than others, of course, but not so much on this last dram. A whole lot on the funky ones, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about your channel and what you've got going on over at the Whiskey Zone.
It's a passion. It's a labor of love. When I first started doing it,
get rich, right?
Yeah. Nope. That Catherine reminds me of that a lot. Anyway,
we just have the excuse to buy whiskey. That's why.
No, it was like when I first started doing it, the main reason that I chose to do it the way I did was there were so many people out there that were doing YouTube channels around whiskey that I loved. I loved what they were saying, and I loved the stuff they had to share with the community. But there were so many of them that when they started talking, I said, okay, I know I have to set aside 45 minutes for this. I have to set aside an hour. I have to 2 hours, 3 hours, because there's this thing that happens with being on camera and drinking whiskey, is that people just talk. And so I said, I'm going to do reviews and I'm going to keep it to 5 minutes. And so all of my reviews are 5 minutes long, because I figure it doesn't matter how busy you are, you can always find 5 minutes just to watch somebody babble about whiskey. And then I just recently started expanding that a little bit and started doing interviews. So I posted my first one last month, and I've got another one that I'm editing right now. I won't say who it is. It's a surprise, but somebody
who was your first one?
I'm sorry,
who was your first one? Your first
So that was actually here in the San Francisco Bay Area where I live. In the East Bay in Oakland, there's a guy who opened this place called the Oakland Whiskey Library. And it is it's up like a private club. You pay a membership, and then people can gather, and they have lockers where people get to put their own special little whiskeys, and people come in and they share whiskeys, and it's a very cool environment. And so we sat down and talked with him and got the lowdown and the scoop on the Oakland Whiskey Library.
That's so cool. And that's where I would never have done that. Like, people would not know that there's something like that, or, and odds are, I don't know, like, you may not be able to go out there, but that's a concept that somebody else may want to try to pick up, or at least do that with their friends, and being able to share that aspect of whiskey, which we know is even better when you have somebody.
Yeah.
I could have sat here and had the sample of all of these whiskeys by myself, but having you here, couldn't quite get Chuck to come on. Try. But I was so glad, Chuck, you participated tonight so well, and I really appreciate it, my friend, because it was this whole group effort to be here at Deanston, and it was neat to be able to get people from all different walks of life. I mean, you've got Graham and his family that were there from Canada, and you have Daisy from the Netherlands, Peter and Denise, and it just Chuck's from your area, but up the coast in Oregon, and me down Flatlander and here in the Bayou. So it's just very different perspectives. But the one thing we had all in common was to talk about this whiskey stuff that we really, really liked.
Yeah.
and it didn't matter what else was going on in the world right then. It was about the whiskey and about the camaraderie about it,
Yeah.
and
It's
that's
so
really
true.
cool. Yeah. And what I love again about your channel is that you deliver the information and you get it in there and it's entertaining, it's concise. As a technical writer, I'm all over it because I'm like, it's the dragnet, it's the facts and just the facts. Because as you feel and as you what you get out of it, people who watch your channel and watch your reviews truly do see the joy you get out of whiskey. And that
Oh, thank you.
is your gift to being able to let somebody know about something they may want to go to purchase, something they want to stay away from, or may not be their thing. But, I'm glad that you do it. And I was super glad that I finally got to meet you
Yeah.
over in
No,
Glasgow.
it's been so great to have the connection, and not only Glasgow but Edinburgh too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a lot of fun because then we ended up, what was the place there at the end, that bar
Um,
off of, uh,
yeah, it's right off of Princes Street,
yeah,
the Guildford Arms.
Guilford Arms, yeah,
Yeah,
that was it. That was a groovy place. That was
yeah,
great to meet with you and Catherine there. That
yeah.
was awesome.
That was
Yeah,
fun.
and then I think y'all went to a Kaylee after that, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
And you were being fitted for your kilt there.
Yes.
And
That was the
that
next
trip,
day. Yeah.
and you have since received that kilt, and if you go on his Instagram, you will see him wearing it, and then you're
Yeah.
just like,
I
"You are meant for that,"
I,
right?
I wore it. Thank you. I wore it last weekend or weekend before that was the Highland Scottish Games in out here in California, in Pleasanton, California, and it was great to wear it. The one thing I would say is it's 8 yards of heavy wool, and it ended up being like 108 degrees, which I
Ooh,
wouldn't recommend because I think most kilts were made for wearing in the Highlands,
yeah,
not 108-degree temperatures, but it was still fun to wear it.
wow. Yeah, I would say that would be a little rough down here.
Yeah.
Way rough out here. Oh, and then, of course, James wants to know something that you do not need to share, but there you go.
Well, I can't really
And
talk about that.
And can you tell me you're from Louisiana without telling me you're from Louisiana? Show me your tartan. Yeah. Shame on you, friend. Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
And and just to kind of add into what you were talking about, the whole experience, kind of getting back to the base of it. Um, I am so glad that we both have um, Peter and Denise Lee as mutual friends,
Yes,
because Peter made this happen, and
he
Peter
is
is
the
the
reason.
most generous, outgoing person. And if anybody watching knows Peter, you know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
it's this gentleman. He lives in Paisley, just outside of Glasgow, and
Yes.
he's such a sweet man, and
He
it,
just the kindest heart.
yeah.
Um, and his family have a absolutely fabulous restaurant, and he knows how big of a Palo Nutini fan I am, and he is from Paisley. I even saw when Daisy and I went to the restaurant. Um, we
Clang
walked
tongue.
when we left. Quaintang. We went by the Palanutini alley where this big mural of it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to take a picture. And she's probably thinking I'm crazy for other reasons too, I'm sure. But I mean, the food was amazing, and he knew that I love Palanutini, and so he changes the whole restaurant's music to Palanutini just for me. I mean, this guy is just amazing. He's a great ambassador
Yeah,
for that area and for the barflies that most everybody knows who he is, and a
and
great fisherman,
he
great
has the
guy.
most supportive wife. Denise
Yes,
is awesome.
yes. And they're always smiling, they're always
Yeah,
happy, and yeah. The whiskey's really good, y'all, but it's it actually is secondary to all the people that you get to meet. It's secondary to like when you see everybody in here in the chat. Hey Eric, good to see you join us. You know, it's that part that you just know this is fun. I like doing this because of the people. The whiskey is really good, but the people make it for sure. So you have another for your channel. You have another interview that you're working on
Yep.
soon, and you just dropped a new video this past week. And tell us about that.
Oh, there's a whiskey tube channel, Jeff Whiskey,
Mm-hmm.
and he put out this challenge to a number of different other people who do YouTube stuff, for what was your number one go-to distillery. And so he put it out to some other people, and then Tomat and Kevin, who we met when
Yes.
we went up to
Also, totally not planned.
yeah, well, people, he just called him up on the phone and said, "Hey, we're coming over." And
His wife is a saint.
but so he challenged me. So so it's
Yeah,
a
that's awesome.
little video about what my favorite distillery is,
That's awesome. That's great. Well,
which I
I
would
really,
say is as a just a question.
yeah,
If you like whiskey, and it's kind of a broad thing, and so you like lots of different whiskeys, to suddenly sit there and go, okay, what's my number one distillery? It takes a lot of thought. It's I mean, somebody who's like fairly new to whiskey, who's tried 6 or 7 whiskeys, might have a much easier time of just saying, oh yeah, that's the one. But when you turn around and you see hundreds of bottles on your shelf, and you go, what's the best distillery? I don't know. It's but it was fun to do.
It was funny. We had family over last weekend, and some of Mark's family, and they were like looking at the whiskey room, going kind of wow. And it's like, well, which is your favorite? And it's like, it really depends on my mood,
Yeah.
and like it's more like how in the world do I decide? It's just a mood thing, or when I have a hankering for, or because they're all just so very different, and I like to celebrate the differences and the obscurities and
Absolutely.
the geekiness of it. I love the geekiness of it.
Yeah. And the other thing that I notice is, and this probably it's with a lot of bottles, but it's especially with all the bottles that I've been fortunate enough to bring back from Scotland, is when I look at each one has a memory.
Mm-hmm.
That place that I bought it, or the distillery tour I went on, or the people I shared this with, or a
The
gift
person who gave it to you.
Yeah. It's like that thing that, I mean, I don't know this, people have lots of things that they collect, but I don't know that I've ever collected things that I can look at and have the kind of memories, the really intense memories that I do with whiskey.
Right. And that is why it is so very important to put your name on a sample that you give somebody.
Yeah.
It's so very important, not to get credit, but for that person to be able to honor that dram with the remembrance of who gave it to him and who was
Yeah.
generous enough to share it. And so just always just drink your samples. I'm so hypocritical if you knew how many samples I had over here. But to have somebody's name on it, just like make sure, and if they don't have their name on it, scribble it on it when you accept it, because you want to know, to be able to say, because when we were talking and you said, did you get this? Like, where was this? Did I give you this sample? And I was like, well, I handed it to you, but it was the tour guide that gave it to us,
Yeah.
And that's very important, because that, whether or not you're able to make it full circle and tell them what you thought about the sample, it's just the idea that in that moment you can think of that person, and I love that part. It really, really is.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, neat. Whiskey Habit says that his theory, most things can be shortcut, especially now. Education done from your couch, emails, AI write it, but fame just troll people on Twitter. Whiskey cannot be shortcut. It draws authentic people. I love that. Absolutely. From the people who make it to the people who drink it, you know, absolutely. So we're getting deep here. Yeah. It's amazing how deep you get, Trooper, when you get deep in the drams. Yeah, for sure. Well, very cool. Well, friend, anything else you want to chat? You got any other Deanston you're wanting to drink, or
um,
I think mine's
no, I do have the little samples from the tour, but I will say one thing that I would suggest is when I do most of these tours, I do them with my lovely wife, Catherine. And one of the great advantages to that is they pour each one of us the sample, but then one of us gets to like just have it as it is, and then the other one adds the water. So now you get that direct
ah,
side and side comparison. Because when you do a tasting by yourself, you add a little water to it and go, I think I liked it better before, but now when you have somebody that is with you, you can do both.
that's smart.
Which is So that's the thing. Always bring your spouse.
Yes. Or a random on the side of the road if you don't have one.
Yeah, exactly.
The worst thing. Can buddy up. I love Richie. Richie's like, love your guest. Definitely have him back on sometime. Absolutely.
Thank you, Richie.
Yeah, he does know his stuff. He does. Now I appreciate you being part of this, buddy. I really do.
Awesome.
We'll have to do
so
another adventure.
Yeah. And I was just looking at some of the things. Ian, I went with the heavyweight weave, so yeah, it didn't work so good in really hot temperatures.
God, yeah. Oh, that's a hoot. Yeah. Oh goodness. No, it was great seeing so many people in tonight that hadn't seen in a while, and because I haven't been here in a while. But be having some more shows coming up, some other fun things coming up around the corner. I can share later on. But Rick, thanks for being part of it and going through. I feel like we were all there again, but just not in the dank.
Yeah.
There was a certain level of dankness in that building. That was, golly, if you could bottle it,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we kind of did. We bottled the important parts, right? But yeah.
Well, I'll go out just nosing this.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to pour me a little bit more of that one.
So
But no, good deal, friend. I'm gonna send you to the back and I'll be there in a bit or after I say bye to folks. Thank you, friend. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Oh gosh, this is good to get back on the chair in front of the box and get to visit with y'all and to visit with such a good guy and all the fun that we had at Deanston. I hope we kind of made you feel like you were there too. But yeah, we've got gonna have some shows in the next month. And big things coming up. I'll be sharing with y'all later on about that. I'm going to be scheduling a Patreon Google Meets call pretty soon. So I'll put a poll out to patrons, try to get an idea of the best time to do that, because I want to talk to you folks and then for all the patrons and the channel members, thanks so much for all of your support and everyone well wishes in this crazy summer that we've had. Really do appreciate everybody being here tonight. It was a lot of fun. How about we do this again first Tuesday of October, and I will see you then. So until, I hope y'all hold up. I need to really pour this again because it was so good. That Deanston Funk Fino 22 year. Holy moly macaroni. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. And until I see you next month, Slàinté Y'all.